Hello. Hey. Um, oh, I'm not sure. Yes, this is working. Sometimes I can't tell. I'm not really the tech guy. Who's the tech guy? Um, a couple of things I just wanted to chat about this morning, and it's really something I think that we all deal with in many ways. And you know, uh, my intuition is that most of you that come to watch what I do every day are people that care, people that care about other people, and people that care about their own journey, and I hope that in some way I can inspire you to um, to do what I'm doing in a way. And I just want to talk about it a little bit. That last night at work, I work with a fellow at work, a young fellow younger than I, and he was teasing me a little bit about doing this, and saying that it was ego based and stuff, and of course I had to look at that. I'm like, oh, okay, it is, and the truth is that I look at it every day. Every day, ego comes up and says, "What are you doing?" you know, and why are you doing this? And I see that the same thing happens for almost everybody when especially in the 12 step world, when they start to get the message, they start to understand that there's a way out, that there's hope for them, and and their ego tells them that they don't have a message to give others. Their ego says, you don't know enough. You can't help. And I want you to know that that happens. I struggle with that. You know, often. Who do I think I am doing this every day, talking about awakening, talking about love, talking about God. It's a um, So I hope I don't come across as if I have a certainty in all of these things. I don't have a certainty in all of these things. I just know that, what do I know? That after 40 years of searching, reading, traveling, finding teachers, experimenting with different concepts, trying to find the way, um, some things have become apparent, and the one theme that's run through the whole thing, uh, through the 12 step world and through all the teachings, is this theme of be here now. And so that's my primary message, really. And in this moment, we get to access all the potential of the universe, really. So I encourage you, because if I struggle with it, you know, and I do, um, I know others do, and I hear it all the time, actually. People come to their own awakening, however deep it is, or however profound it is, and they hide it, because they're a fear, and it's self-centered fear. It is ego fear. It. So I encourage you not to hide it. I encourage you to share with others, to listen, and when appropriate, to see if there's an opening to share um, whatever awakening that you have, and that you've gotten in your life. And so uh, I don't know, how long I'll do this for. I don't know if anybody gets anything from it, but I do, and that is the thing that's promised in the 12 steps over and over again, is that who benefits the most? The giver. You know, I remember when I first came into the 12 step world years and years and years ago. Um, you know, And I heard the expression that so and so had said, I forget who it was, said they'd never had a unsuccessful 12 step call. They'd never had an unsuccessful 12 step call. And I remember thinking, what does he mean by that? And he said, well, I'm still sober. And and we recognize that carrying the message, helping others, lifts us up. It lifts us up. So maybe I am being just selfish in this way. That using this medium to carry the message is of awakening, of love, of a connection with the moment, being in the moment, finding ourselves, because we are only in this moment. We're not in the past. We're not in the future. We can't find ourselves in the past or the future. We can only find ourselves here now. And then when we share it, we have to risk, because we have to be present to share it. We can't share it from, we have to be there and with folks. So I encourage you to do that. I really do. The other thing that I wanted to say, because um, uh, I don't represent when AA or NA or CA. I mean, I love those programs, or any of the 12-step programs. I'm not a representative. I'm not a representative of them. I, I have my own story, and I'm just not we don't do that. And so if it ever comes across like I am representing those organizations, or anybody that that's in those organizations, that's not true. I'm I know I think I do cross the line a bit, and I apologize for that. You know, and my thought when I started this in May to, I read this little book every day. It's a 24-hour day book. It's not actually authorized AA literature. It's a fellow wrote this, and it's been used a lot because it's daily inspirational, and we need that, to keep on the beam on a daily basis. So I read that in hopes that something, it shares a little light. I mean, lots of folks right now are not out and about, and they're home, and lots of people are struggling. So this is you know the why, I guess. And is there any ego in it? Sure, yeah. you know I'm full of that, and I struggle with that. um I'm we used to say, not walking on water yet, you know, and not likely to. So, um, but I'm just carrying a personal message, and hopefully somebody you something tweaks, and you see yourself, and something shifts, and there's freedom, because the the prison that we all live in is the prison of our mind, and it, and it all we have to break through that prison sometimes is words, and love, and risking, and you know should we hide our gift? I don't think so. I'm not, I don't like, I yeah, I can't hide it, you know so I see you, and if in any way I've ever offended anybody doing this, have a look at that. See what's there. You know, I'm check in every day with prayer, and hopefully this is the path for me. So that's it. With love, you guys. I share, and I'm also, I want you to know that I'm open to one-on-one conversations if shit's coming up, and you're trying to you know see through it. How do I get to the next whatever? Call me. Let's talk about it. And I may or may not have something for you, but we won't know if we don't connect. So I'm available for that. And hmm, yeah, I guess that's it. No special deal. you know, uh, to to date, I haven't been selling anything. I'm just here to share my experience, strength, and hope. So um, I want to thank my partner last night, because he touched something. It was like, oh, okay. He not only said that it was, his thoughts, but that others were talking about it. And I guess that we risk that if we come out like this. We risk that people will judge, and well, so be it. Um, yeah, so be it. I thank you though, because I got to look, um, at myself. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate. Yeah, experience, strength, and hope. So, so that's it. Um, love you guys. I'm going to read here for a second, and I guess in closing though on that subject, I want to say, look at yourself as well. If you're struggling, remember you have something for somebody else. You can give. If you reach out, you may not be certain of what it is, but when you get there in the moment with a prayer, the right thing will come. The right thing will come. So just ego will say no. You don't know what you're doing. Don't mess around in somebody else's life. Well, follow your inner direction. Follow your inner direction, and the right words will be there. Right? The right words will be there. So I encourage you to do that. There's such a need, I think, right now in the world, and people are struggling and trying to figure themselves out and trying to figure out, the relationship with universal intelligence or God or whatever they want to call them. A lot of times people are struggling with their concept of that, so they can't even make, or they're having trouble even making an approach, if you will, to the moment, or because they already have judgment on this God idea, which came many of us got in our childhood. We had a Sunday school teachings of an angry God, um, and so it often, if you have something, um, if you have, whatever you have, whatever your concept is, and if you're sitting in front of somebody, you start to examine your own concept, because you're trying maybe to share with them that how open the possibility is. It's not such a narrow door that many religions have said that it was. It's not a narrow door at all. And so be prepared. And I, my magic formula for finding the path of sharing is to pray about it. I often say, "Put me in, coach. Put me in. I'm ready to go." And so I just listen for where those moments come, and I go where the energy is. And so not knowing, living in that not knowing is beautiful. I go where the energy is. So go where the energy is, pray about it, say, dear God, however you conceive that, dear God, to be, I'm ready to be of service. I'm ready to help it and guide people to the light of the moment, right? And you can do it. We all can do it. So, I mean, if I can do it, for God's sakes, everybody can, right? So let's carry that message of love in our daily life. Be ready to, because, universal intelligence, God, however you want to call him, that is, will put people in your path. And the more you say yes, the more people will show up. So I make no apologies for being available to do that work. That's the terms of my agreement, actually, in my third step. The terms of my agreement in the third step is to carry the message. And maybe it doesn't have to be the way you do it. It doesn't. We can all do it differently. Okay, that's it. So I appreciate that my work partner brought that up, and the way he brought it up, really, it did hit something. It was like, oh, oh, because sometimes I feel like I'm a bit anonymous. I guess I'm not. or that I can't be seen. Well, I guess I can be. So here we go. I'm going to read from this book today. It's the 30th, the Dirty 30 of December. We're just about through the whole thing, aren't we? 2020, what an amazing year. Really, what an amazing year. Yes, there's been pain. But pain is the touchstone of growth, isn't it? Most of us don't begin searching unless we get uncomfortable. So, what an amazing year this has been. We'll look back and say, wow, much like the 30s were such a great time of transformation, as we went through that depression and probably hundreds of thousands of people died, because of life circumstance. So this is a wake-up call for all of us. Okay, December 30th, thought for the day. Says, to the extent that I fail in my responsibilities, AA fails, the 12 steps fails. So his closing week in this book is he's talking about service a lot. And, am I doing my job? And my job, staying close to my maker and performing his work well. The work is to carry this message. This is the job. To the extent that I succeed, AA in the 12 steps succeeds. Every failure of mine will set back AA work to that extent. Every success of mine will put AA ahead to that extent. I shall not wait to be drafted for service to my fellow man, but I shall volunteer. Yes, I guess it's kind of what I've been saying. Yes, I shall accept every opportunity to work for the 12-step world for AA as a challenge. I shall do my best to accept every challenge and perform my task as best I can. Will I accept every challenge gladly? Will I accept every challenge gladly? Yes. I guess, yes. No, and I can't say that I always have. I've run away lots. I have run away lots. I'm not running away anymore. Meditation for the day. Says men are always failures. I'm going to put my glasses on. Man, he says, are always failures. He talks a bit in the dualistic world, this guy, of success and failure and right and wrong. And so we have to give him that. I prefer not to talk in that world, but that's where a lot of people live. So men, it says, are always failures in the deepest sense when they seek to live without God's sustaining power. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we can certainly not make things stick. Things do not stick together when we're running from ego. When we're trying to run the show, when I'm trying to run the show. Many try to be self-sufficient and seek selfish pleasure and find that it does not work too well. Amen. No matter how far or how much material wealth they acquire, no matter how much fame and material power, the time of disillusionment and futility usually comes. Death is ahead, and they cannot take any material things with them when they go. I thought my grandfather used to say, you never see a U-Haul trailer behind a hearse. What matters is if I have gained the whole world but lost my own soul. What matters if I have gained the whole world but lost my soul? Prayer for the day. I pray that I will not come empty to the end of my life. I pray that I may so live that I will not be afraid to die. Amen. Beautiful. That's so well. I love that. I love that. So tomorrow is the last day of the year, and we'll be reading from that. And this little book is be great. And then we start on the 1st after that, and we started May the 1st. Because at the time I could see that, I felt drawn. I felt drawn to carry a message, especially when so many people were stuck at home, in early May. And so Yeah, I didn't. I just followed I just followed the thread. So here we are. Um, we're going to meditate for a few minutes. Is anybody up for meditation? A little bit? Hey, a few minutes of let's just do it. Okay, we're going to do it. And sometimes I find myself having to kind of explain why, I do this, well, I do it because it's good for me. I love meditating. I drop into this amazing space, and you know, the idea of me, of David, it disappears, and that's the deal. The idea of David disappears, and there's this nothingness that seems to be there, and that's the deal. So how would you like to be in that space of nothingness? You know, um, free from our identity, free from our beliefs, free from our conditioning, even just for a couple of minutes, to be floating in this sea of unformedness that we came out of, that we go back to, that we are. We're, form in the unformed. And as we spend more time in the meditation, we begin to experience the endless power of that space, the endless knowledge of that space, and the knowing that comes in each moment, living in the not knowing, but the knowing that comes in each moment. So let's do this for a few minutes. Get yourself comfortable. Just find a spot, if you can. Doesn't matter if it's on the floor. Just get yourself comfortable. And yeah. I often use the breath to bring myself into the moment. Use the breath. So just let go, if it's possible, of all thought. And as your mind continues to work, just don't engage. Nothing to do in the letting go. Nothing to be against, nothing to direct. Just don't engage. Thoughts will run on their own. And we'll know. This is where we discover in meditation that we're not our mind. That the mind just runs on its own. And it may actually run a little crazy sometimes because it doesn't like that we can just surrender away from it, that we can just not engage. Really, it's like a 13-year-old spoiled kid. It wants our attention desperately. So sometimes it will stomp its feet and drum up problems and dramas. But just recognize that we're only getting a 10-minute break here. Just allow it. You can go back to the dramas of the mind after, if you choose. You couldn't just choose moment to moment to not pay attention ever. Just be here now. So just come back when you're ready. Remember when you're sitting like this to just include everything that's happening. If there's noises or, or even an uncomfortableness in the body, just include it. Don't resist. If the mind keeps going, just let it go. When we're engaged, just let go of the engagement, because it will just do what it does. Practice. Just keep coming back to this. And eventually, this will be with you everywhere. This sense of ease and calm that many of us used to look for in drugs or alcohol will be there. This sense of ease and calm will be there. Moment to moment. So, thanks. Love you guys. I love it if I'm kind of working on building a YouTube channel. And if you go to YouTube and subscribe, Valley and Beyond, Project Awakening, I'd like that. Thank you. Help to support that way. Okay. That's it. Love you lots. Remember to carry the message. Be available to share the love that you are coming to know and understand. This is the juice of life. Love, gratitude, acceptance, presence, consciousness, non-attachment, freedom, baby. We're talking about freedom. Thank you. Love you. We'll talk soon.